two organizations in flux right now where you're sort of not sure if they're competing or if they're rebuilding. The Chicago Bears and the Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders. I'm just curious, do you their quarterback situations, Mitch Trubisky and Derek Carr. I'm gonna start with Mitch. Do you feel that? What's your perspective on Mitch? Do you get? I don't know how much Bears football you're watching, but do you feel he's a franchise guy?
Now, I'm going to admit from the start, I'm biased. Right?
Okay.
Mitch Trubisky is what? He's a Tar Heel.
There we
I'm
go.
a Tar Heel.
There we go. I forgot about that connection.
I got to make sure I put that out there first. The biggest thing when it comes to Mitch Trubisky has nothing to do with Mitch Trubisky. Is that Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, who were drafted after him, is having a great, phenomenal career. And so he's always like...
potentially all time.
Right. And they're like, wait, so the Bears moved up to get this guy and you passed over these two studs? So that's what makes it even worse for Mitch Trubisky. He's not playing well. He's not. And I don't know if it's the system. I don't know if it's what it is. You can say, Patrick Mahomes has much better weapons. You can say that Deshaun Watson had much better weapons. But Mitch overall has just been a disappointment. And it pains me to say that because I know Mitch is a Tar Heel, but when you're drafted that high, you're expected to take your teams by yourself. You're expected to take your team to levels in which they have not been before. And maybe it's like the curse of the quarterback for the Bears, but Mitch is not living up to the billing.
It seemed he was not that he was performing at the Mahomes or Watson level, but it seemed he was on a trajectory. And then last year it just seemed like that just completely disappeared. Is there anything that you can put your finger on with that? Is that Mitch? Is that coaching? Is that personnel?
It's
everything?
It's a mixture of both. A lot of it. Coaching always helps. And then you add to the fact Mitch got in his own head. When the report came out that he demanded all of the TVs in the facility be turned off of the networks, the ESPNs, the NFL networks, because he didn't like that tells me that your ego is fragile. And you can't play in this league at that position and have a fragile ego. Because people are going to talk about you, especially when you're drafted that high and you don't perform. And they look around and they're saying, oh, wow, the MVP of the league who threw 50 touchdowns and won a Super Bowl was drafted after you? This other guy who's phenomenal, taking his team to the playoffs and doing great things, and Deshaun Watson was drafted after you? And you're not even getting your team close to that tells me that mentally that you're a little bit fragile.
And Ryan Pace, Chicago Bears general manager, Dallas-Fort Worth native, do you think he'll be able to overcome that one, just picking over Watson and Mahomes?
No.
That just stays on you forever, huh?
Forever. That's one of those deals where, you know what, you got to own that one.
Especially guys trading up, right?
Right, you traded up, right? You got to own that one. That's one of those things where when you go look at your career after it's all said and done, you hope that you had so many more pluses because that one, and when you again, you're tied to Mahomes and Watson forever now. And as they continue to have success in the league, people are always going to say, man, you passed over these two guys for Mitch. And this was a guy that you didn't give it a fifth-year option to. This is a guy who you're probably going to cut after 4 years. And you got one guy who's already been an MVP, won a Super Bowl, threw for 50 touchdowns. You have another guy who is, doing everything in Houston. And just, his stock is consistently rising, and you're getting ready to cut the guy that you moved up to get to, and you passed over these two studs. That you got to own that one. That one as a GM, you got to that's on your record, buddy.
Tough.